Hi guys, I am here today with this. This is the 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. Let's get into it. So this hybrid option is new for 2025 in the CX-50 line. They already have the standard and the turbo, and this is sitting cleanly in the middle. And with great mileage and incredible handling, this is a pretty remarkable car, but it's not for everybody. Let me tell you more. Under the hood, we've got this hybrid system that was developed in conjunction with Toyota that takes the 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine and adds 3 electric motors, which creates an MPG that's 40% more efficient than the base model CX-50. Let me tell you more. During my ride here, I've been averaging around 35 miles to the gallon, but granted, I'm in mountainous terrain and a pretty aggressive driver. And speaking of aggressive drivers, let me tell you a little bit about how this thing drives. All right, I gave you the numbers before, right? 219 horsepower, 163 foot-pound of torque. The acceleration's a little meh. The engine noises are uninspired, to say the least. But the good news with this drive is this is a Mazda. So we have incredibly precise steering. We've got a great turning radius. The sensors are really great. So when you are parking it, it's very, very easy. And then we've got the transmission. And I know this is when all the enthusiasts hold their breaths, because I'm going to say the letters you hate the most, which are CVT. But in this Mazda, the CVT is a little bit different. A lot of people are unexcited about a CVT transmission, but this is an e-CVT. So instead of being powered by pulleys and belts, it is powered by the electric motors. So that means it's a lot smoother, a lot more consistent, and you just don't feel it as much, which is great. And also that helps with the outstanding mileage. Behind the wheel in the CX-50 Hybrid is pretty great. We've got this steering wheel that's got a lot of buttons on it, which is very nice. We obviously have a big screen here, but we also have a lot of tactile buttons. They've got a nice balance between buttons and screen. In fact, you may get in this car and feel like it maybe looks a little bit non-techy if you're comparing it to like a Tesla or an Audi, but the reality is it actually is set up really, really well. So for example, it's got a 12-speaker Bose sound system, which is incredible. And if I wanted to change the volume, I can change it here on my steering wheel, but it also has a nice button here that means that the driver can reach it as well as the passenger just as easily. They thought things through very well in this cockpit. All right, let's talk about where to put stuff. So I've got 2 traditional cup holders here. They're not very flexible, guys, and because of, this is something that makes me crazy with this car, because of their placement, if you have something tall here, you're gonna have to be careful that you don't hit the dashboard. Also, it should be noted that there's wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, which works incredibly well in this car, which I don't always say. There's also this nice split armrest, which has a pretty deep opening in here, as well as some chargers, but it's not big enough to put a purse in, so don't get too excited about that. Traditional glove box, fine. Pretty traditional little pockets in the door arms as well. This trim has, again, this is the hybrid trim. This is the Premium Plus, has seat warmers as well as seat coolers, but for some reason doesn't have a heated steering wheel, but you can get that in the turbo trim, and probably if you could order it, you could put it as an add-on. Okay, here I am in the back seat of the CX-50 hybrid. This is no different than the back seat of all the other CX-50 trims, it should be noted. A few of the, amenities that may change. One of the trims has a heated rear seat option, but again, you're not going to get one that's wider or necessarily feels that much more luxurious. I've got two chargers down here. I've got two vents, which you can only turn on and off. You can't control the temperature from back here. The big sunroof goes till right about my head here, which makes it all feel a little bit more open. I'd put 2 adults back here, maybe 3 kids. Let's talk about safety a little bit. I know a lot of families will have always opted for the CX-5 and the CX-7 as well as the CX-9. The CX-50 is probably great for a growing family as well as maybe a single parent. We've got this big storage here in the back, a lot of cargo room, a split 40/60 seats that fold flat. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about back here is really about the safety system. So it's got the Mazda Safety Sense system in this car. The bad news about that is the cameras are a little dated. So when you push, when you put it in reverse and it puts in the backup camera, it's not going to be a sexy 4K camera. But the sensors are really, really accurate. This trim has this nice cross traffic alert. I back out of my driveway and the alert system is really, really accurate in this car. So while it won't necessarily feel that high tech, everything in this vehicle works really, really well to keep you safe. And that, for me as a parent and as a driver, provided a lot of peace of mind. So if you're in the market for a CX-50, how do you know which one you should get, right? There's the standard trim, there are a few different levels of that. Then there's this hybrid, then there's the turbo and the turbo plus. There are a lot of options. I've done videos on all of them, so please check them out here on my channel. But why would you get this hybrid over the turbo or the turbo over this hybrid? So I've talked a little bit about the numbers here, particularly the torque numbers tell you a lot. The turbo trim of this vehicle essentially gets double the torque numbers, right? So it's about around 310, where this is 163 foot-pounds of torque. And to be honest, you can really, really feel that in the drive. So if you're someone that is going to go canyon carving, you like speed, you're really into acceleration, you're going to need to get that turbo. Like, forget the MPG, you're going to need that turbo. But if you're someone that just is looking for this for a daily driver, if you're a commuter, if you're bringing the family around town to do errands and you're really concerned about the MPG, this is an amazing option. And that's where Mazda is really good. It's one of those companies like Subaru and Volvo that really listens to their customers and what their needs are. And I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I'm looking for an SUV, I want great mileage, and I don't want to go fully electric yet. What do you recommend? And I don't want to spend a fortune. Here it is, right there, right? Here's the CX-50 hybrid. This is the vehicle I know a lot of you are looking for, but whether or not it's right for you is going to depend on what your needs are, like I said before. So you can go ahead and check out my CX-50 Turbo video or the introduction to the CX-50 itself, where I drove the base model to get a little bit more information. Otherwise, hit me up on social media. You can put a question in the comments. I really appreciate you watching. I'm Motorhead Mama, and please subscribe.